Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila, as this will be seen on both channels. I'm about to record this, but I want to share something with you. I have not read it, as with all of what I'm nudged to record, but there's something very different about this one. First of all, this is another of Jason Gray's writings. And I'm noticing here that he published it March the 19th of 2025. Today is July the 8th of 2025. I'm not certain how long I've had it saved to record. But I happened to notice this morning that I've been being nudged the last couple of times I've been recording Jason's work to record this one. But there's been a resistance within me, and I'm not quite sure what that's about or why. Now, because this topic, as you already know what it is because you saw the title, is in the news again. I don't know if that's why I had the resistance, but that wouldn't have made any sense. I don't know. It's just a very interesting feeling that I have. And so I just said to my housemate and my sister, I'm noticing that. And so today is the day that I'm going to record this and share it. So, like I said, today is July the 8th, 2025. And I don't know why I felt compelled to tell you that either, but here we go. The truth behind the JFK assassination, a web of deception and power, by Jason Gray. For decades, the assassination of John F. Kennedy has been shrouded in a fog of deception, misinformation, and secrecy. Official narratives have been fed to the public like a well-scripted play, diverting attention from the true architects of the crime. Now, as declassified documents, eyewitness testimonies, and buried connections come to light, a disturbing reality emerges, one that not only confirms long dismissed, quote, conspiracy theories, but also reveals an even darker truth. The evidence suggests that the CIA orchestrated the assassination of JFK in a meticulously planned operation with direct ties to Israeli intelligence, Mossad, deep financial interests linked to the Rothschild family, and even elements within the U.S. government itself. Now, that has been part of the conspiracy theory. Absolutely true. Wow. And I'm being shown perhaps part of my own resistance here. That's very interesting. More shocking still, the fatal shot that ended Kennedy's life was not fired from the infamous, quote, grassy knoll, nor from the alleged sniper's perch of Lee Harvey Oswald in the Texas School Book Depository, but from inside the very vehicle meant to protect him by his own driver. The CIA's role, a coup from within. By 1963, President John F. Kennedy had made powerful enemies, and the CIA was at the top of that list. Following the failed Bay of Pigs invasion, which Kennedy refused to escalate into full-scale war, he vowed to dismantle the CIA, stating that he would, quote, splinter it into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds, end quote. The agency, operating as a shadow government, could not allow this to happen. Declassified files now confirm that high-ranking officials within the CIA viewed Kennedy as a direct threat to their global operations. The CIA was not acting alone. They had allies, powerful international figures with vested interests in seeing Kennedy removed from power. Mossad and Israeli connections, the nuclear threat. One of the least discussed, most crucial motives behind the assassination was Kennedy's opposition to Israel's nuclear ambitions. Documents reveal that JFK was adamantly against Israel developing nuclear weapons and pressured Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion to allow U.S. inspections of the Dimona nuclear facility. Ben-Gurion, a staunch Zionist, saw this as an existential threat to Israel's future. Soon after, he resigned unexpectedly, citing, quote, personal reasons. In reality, Israel had already decided that Kennedy needed to be eliminated. The Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, had extensive connections with the CIA and shared a common interest in removing Kennedy from power. The Rothschild connection, the global banking cartel. Kennedy's other great sin was his attempt to wrest control of the U.S. monetary system away from private banking interests. Executive Order 11110, signed by Kennedy in June 1963, authorized the U.S. Treasury to issue debt-free silver certificates, effectively bypassing the Federal Reserve, a central bank dominated by Rothschild-linked financial institutions. Rothschild family, long known for their influence over global banking, would not allow Kennedy to undermine their control. The CIA, which had deep financial ties to the Rothschilds, was allegedly working directly from the Rothschild estate in Paris at the time. This connection raises the question, was the CIA merely the executioner in a plot devised by the global financial elite? The driver's shot, the fatal betrayal. One of the most explosive revelations involves the role of William Greer, Kennedy's Secret Service driver. Video footage, when examined frame by frame, reveals a disturbing anomaly. Greer, in a split second, turns his head back toward Kennedy just before the fatal shot is fired. Eyewitnesses and enhanced footage suggest that the kill shot, the one that caused Kennedy's head to violently snap backward, did not come from Roswell's supposed position. Oswald, did I say Roswell? Okay, that's very interesting. What did I say? I'm going to read that again. That's very interesting. Witnesses and enhanced footage suggest that the kill shot, the one that caused Kennedy's head to violently snap backward, did not come from Oswald's supposed position, but from within the limousine itself. Well, and Jackie was seen trying to get out of the back of the limousine after that. Researcher William Cooper and others who studied the Zapruder film long suspected that Greer, acting under direct orders, delivered the fatal shot using a small concealed firearm. This theory explains the strange behavior of the Secret Service that day, including the sudden slowing of the vehicle just before the shots were fired, ensuring Kennedy was a stationary target. The stand down order given to agents who would normally have ridden on the back of the limousine, leaving JFK completely exposed. Greer's delayed reaction after the shots, failing to speed away despite protocol demanding immediate action. If Greer was involved, it would mean the assassination was not just a coup, but a calculated betrayal from within Kennedy's own security detail. The elimination of whistleblowers. Those who got too close to the truth were swiftly silenced. CIA agent Gary Underhill, who had insider knowledge of the operation, was murdered after revealing that the assassination was a CIA-led operation. His death, ruled a, quote, suicide, followed the same pattern as countless others who dared to expose the truth. Even decades later, the cover-up continued. When JFK Jr., son of the slain president, began investigating his father's murder, he stumbled upon damning evidence implicating high-level figures, including Joe Biden. That's interesting. I did not know that. In 1994, JFK Jr. sent a letter to then Senator Biden, calling him a traitor. Shortly thereafter, JFK Jr.'s life was cut short in a suspicious plane crash that many believe was no accident. A conspiracy no more. For years, anyone questioning the official JFK assassination narrative was dismissed as a conspiracy theorist. But as declassified files, forensic analyses, and insider testimonies emerge, the truth becomes undeniable. The CIA orchestrated the assassination with cooperation from Mossad. The Rothschild banking dynasty had financial motives. Kennedy's own security team was compromised. The fatal shot came from within the presidential vehicle. Whistleblowers and those seeking justice were eliminated. The murder of John F. Kennedy was not the act of a lone gunman. It was a meticulously planned coup, executed at the highest levels of power with global implications that still shape the world today. Now, again, I find this interesting for several reasons. Jason is Canadian, not American, not United States citizen. This was put out March the 19th. So long before what has now just, I believe over the weekend, come out. This is actually being admitted to, apparently. I haven't watched all of the coverage on it, but apparently so much of this has just been admitted to on the, big levels or whatever. it really is going to, it seems to me, and I just did a recording about um, sovereignty and all of that, my thoughts on some things. And it really does seem to me that it's going to take folks realizing that all of this is every last bit of systems on this planet are so hopelessly corrupt. There's no point in trying to fix any of it. Quite frankly, you know, what the answer is, I don't have it. I don't know what the answer is. Do we actually need any of that? I don't think so. I think that we are each capable of governing ourselves if we will. But, you know, there's the question, isn't it? I'm still not really clear why I felt resistance to record this, but I'm glad that I went ahead and did it because I was being nudged to do it for like the last, I want to say 3 days. And I just, every time I went to record, well, this doesn't include yesterday because I knew I wasn't recording yesterday. So I would say from about last Thursday or Friday. Now, do I think that was a mistake? No, because I don't think we make mistakes anymore. I don't see it that way. So but I just wanted to note that. And if you get any information in your field about the why I may have done that, would love to hear from you in the comments. So I hope you found this interesting as I did. And until we meet again, my friends, be well. Mwah.